Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the inspiration and the CEO of the Lake County Chamber, a lady who doesn't know what a short work day is like. Please put your hands together for Melissa Fulton.
Thank you, Sir Tony. That was very nice.
See?
We have everybody in their seats. You're kind of anxious about the program tonight, maybe? I am Melissa Fulton, CEO of the Lake County Chamber, and pleased to be here for the 22nd year in a row. And I would like a large round of applause for David Neft, who has been with us for 21 of those 22 years. Thank you, David. This is a great pleasure for me and for the Lake County Chamber of Commerce. Our board of directors decided 22 years ago that this would be a great program. And I have to tell you that without those of you in the audience and those who have written almost 2,000 nominations over 22 years, this program would not happen. It's because you in Lake County write those nominations. And it's been such a pleasure to learn about so many wonderful acts upon the part of business, organizations, and individuals. Many of those acts we would never have known about if it weren't for this program. At this time, I would like to have everyone in the audience who is a past or current member of our armed forces to stand and be acknowledged for your great contribution to the United States of America. Could you please stand? We certainly thank you for the service, your service, and we want to keep in mind always those thousands of Americans who are around the world working to keep our way of life as it is and as we enjoy it today. I do have to refer to the script once in a while. It is a pleasure, a sincere pleasure. This is one of my most favorite things that I do all year. And I have to thank all of our volunteers who help put this together, not just my office staff, but all of the volunteers. Our past president, Ted Mandronis, and his crew out running the bar this evening to help you with those liquid libations that you like so much. And the bar will be open for the rest of the evening. The purpose behind the Stars of Lake County, as you all know, is to acknowledge and show honor to all of those who do so much to make this county the great place that it is to live in. I've been here since January of 1989, and I treasure this county, as I know all of you do. We have so many wonderful people, many of whom are with us this evening to be acknowledged for their nominations. And I'm going to charge everyone in the audience this evening. We at the Chamber office will accept nominations for 2021 starting today. So when you go home tonight, write it out. You all know a lot of people and businesses and organizations who do wonderful things all year. And I have to tell you that every single year we've done this, and this is number 22, that we receive calls or emails after the nomination deadline has passed saying, oh gosh, I just thought of this entity that I want to nominate. I already have 1 or 2 nominations that were too late. We're pretty strict about that. We want to show integrity with these nominations, so we don't accept nominations after the deadline, in fairness to everyone who did send in their nominations on time. But we will accept them all year. I know every single person sitting in this audience knows someone, whether it be an individual, an organization, or a business, who does wonderful things to make all of our lives better. So keep them in mind and send those nominations forward. I guarantee you, and I promise you, that we will save them for 2021. This was originated by a former president and publisher of the Lake County Record Bee. She brought the idea to us. The board of directors at that time embraced the idea. We started with 12 categories. We now have 23. And I will tell you that this year we had 3 categories for which we had no nominations. And I know that there are entities in our Lake County community who could have qualified for those nominations. So again, keep those nominations coming, and we will be happy, most happy to acknowledge them. Every nomination, every nominee whose nomination we receive, my staff sends out a personal letter letting them know about the nomination and asking them to submit a photograph, which you've had the pleasure of seeing this evening at the video during the reception. And we do that so that you will become familiar with them. And when you meet them as you go about your day-to-day, thank them for their contributions to Lake County. I would wish that I want to let all of the nominees here this evening, I want to let you know that whether or not you are the recipient of one of these stars, you are a star, and we value you and we honor you. We have brought this year, you have brought this year our total nominations to almost 2,000 over 22 years. And we have awarded not quite 500 of these stars. And by the way, a little word of caution to our nominees, to our star recipients, these stars are very heavy. We found they're very heavy. And we found out after we chose the award that we wanted, and we've kept the same award all these years, that the company that makes these awards also makes the Oscar statues for the world famous Oscars. So we're in the best of company. Actually, we're better, you know, right. So again, I want to thank David Neft, who has been with us for 21 out of the 22 years we've been doing this. David was a star recipient himself a few years ago, and very well deserving. I also want to acknowledge Michael Chandler of Third Eye Visuals, who did the wonderful video for us this evening. And that's a challenge because trying to get these nominees to send us a photo so we can create the video is a real challenge. But so when you're a nominee next year and we send you that letter, send us a photo, because Georgett this year was pulling her hair out trying to get all of those videos for Michael so he could create this. So we really appreciate Michael's efforts, and he has a very unique business, and you might be interested in how his business could help your business. I also want to acknowledge and get a big round of applause for O'Meara Brothers Brewing, who brought us these wonderful appetizers this evening. I'd like you to pay attention to the program that you received, which was done by G&G Printing, one of our chamber members. And notice all of the businesses who sponsor these various categories, because first we have all of the nominations that come in, but then we have the programs, and we have the businesses who sponsor each of these awards. And so when you look at your program, keep them in mind, and if you visit any of those businesses, please thank them for their support of this wonderful community awards. And as we go through the program this evening, and I read all of the nominees, which, by the way, if I mispronounce a name, please forgive me. I do the very best I can, but sometimes there's a challenge. But without the businesses sponsoring these awards, the program would not at all be possible. Some other acknowledgments. Lake Event Design has provided the decorations. The Record Bee was wonderful. Starting in December, they published our nomination form 3 times a week, which really got the word out, and that was a huge help. We contract with Disney's Trophies and Awards every year, and Corey Disney takes care of getting us these beautiful awards on time. And then this evening, we have a new participant, Sam Houston of Houston Productions. He is going to video the presentation, and I should tell you that at the end of the program, I'm going to request that all nominees and star recipients come up to the stage in front of the star, and Sam will be live streaming the video to social media for us. So that's something new. Thank you, Sam. And I want to draw your attention to the star. The original star that we had for several years disappeared. And last year, the new owners of Konocti Harbor Resort, with Russ Hamel, of the managing director for the resort, built us a new star, and they deliver it last year and again this year, so that we have actually an even better star than our original one. So we're very pleased with that. And one of the questions that we get asked all the time is, when is Konocti Harbor Resort going to open? And I have been assured by Russ just 2 days ago, early summer. So keep that in mind. I'd also like to thank all of the volunteers who help us put this program together. And I also want to remind you that contrary to what I have heard every single year from somebody, they think this is a popularity contest. It isn't. It definitely isn't. It happens to be that the selection committee that comes together, which is made up of people all around the county, they receive the book of nominations, and they have it to look at anywhere between 5 and 7 days to read every nomination. And it's the detail in those nominations. I don't care if somebody gets 20 letters, it doesn't matter. What matters is the details. Why are these people, businesses, organizations, deserving to be a star of Lake County? It's all the things they do to make our place, our wonderful county, extra special for all of us. So if you write a nomination, please keep that in mind. And yes, I'm asking you again to write a nomination. But so it's not popularity, but it's the details. And I remember back to our very first year. And someone, at that time we had only 12 categories. We're up to 23, as I said, I think. A nomination came in for a business leader, and it said, He deserves to get a star because he does so many wonderful things. Whoopee. Sorry, but that didn't cut it. So what I and my staff do is when the nominations come in, we read through them, we look at the details, and if there aren't enough, we start searching. So that's part of our responsibility, to go back and try and come up with as much detail as we can. So when the selection committee gets together, which they do for about a half day after they have a few days to read the nominations, they have enough detail to make a decision. The other thing is that when we open the selection committee meeting, they are asked to, as we go through each nominee in each category, if you know something that wasn't in the nomination information that you read, please share it with the committee as we're going through all of these categories. So again, we're just searching for as much information as possible, so the selection committee has the opportunity to make a wise decision. And many times they are very torn. And because of that, several years ago, at the urging of John Tomkins of Tomkins Tax Consultants, who has been with us every single year, they created the Spirit of Lake County. And that's an award. No one can make a nomination for that. That award is given to someone that the selection committee believes deserves an award, but they're not going to get an award for the category in which they were nominated. Since the inception of the Spirit of Lake County, we have had a Spirit of Lake County awarded every single year, and that's been many years. So thank you, John Tomkins, for that. It's been great. The selection, thank you. In 2019, there was a feeling that we needed to award another award, which was the Special Award. And that happened again this year for the second year, and that will be the first award that is presented this evening. And I will tell you that because of the selection committee's discussion and their decisions, we have entities moved from one category to another, so it's always a surprise sometime as to who will be the Spirit of Lake County and who will receive the special award. At this time, I would like to acknowledge and thank our selection committee for 2020, and that has been comprised of John Tomkins of Lucerne, Linda Diehl-Darms of Middletown, Yvette Sloan of Middletown, Alan Flora of Clear Lake, Sandy Tucker of Middletown, Kim Tangermann of Hidden Valley Lake, Trena Pauly of Kelseyville, Robert Boccabella of Clear Lake Riviera, and Linda Kelly of Lakeport. Thank you. Yours is not an easy job. Okay, I just summarized so I can skip that paragraph. At this time, we have the pleasure, I'm going to do a little preface here. You may have noticed that some of our awards have been renamed, if you will, over the years. And a few years ago, a young man, 21 years of age, married, a father of a baby, Joshua Blair, passed away unexpectedly. He'd been extremely active in the Lake County Theater Company. I did not know Joshua, but the LCTC, as we call them, the Lake County Theater Company, and his family asked if we could rename the Amateur Arts Award the Joshua Blair Memorial Amateur Arts Award, and we did so, and that continues today. This year, we had another request to rename one of our awards, which we certainly agreed to, and that award was the Volunteer of the Year. And that award is now known as the Naomi Bruce Volunteer of the Year Award. And her family is sponsoring that award. And we have the pleasure this evening of hearing her granddaughter, Faith Hornby, who was a Miss Teen Lake County and is the current reigning Miss Lake County, sing the tribute to the stars for us. And I should also add that Faith, due to her community involvement, was one of our youngest, if not the youngest, recipient of a Star of Lake County when she was only 13. So at this point, I would like to welcome to the stage Faith Hornby, who will be singing Stars from Les Miserables. Thank you, Faith.
You are the sentinels, silent and shy, keeping watch in the night, keeping watch in the night. You know your place in the sky, you hold your course and your aim, and each in your season returns and returns. You're always the same. And if you fall as Lucifer fell, you fall in flames.
Thank you, Faith. Now we're going to get on with our awards. Someone needs to let me know if Congressman Mike Thompson has arrived.
Yes, he has. Yes, right here.
All right, good. Oh. Every year since STARS began, 5th District Congressman Mike Thompson has presented his personal certificate to each of our award recipients. Last year, Sheriff Brian Martin had to stand in for Mike, but this year his schedule has allowed him to join us, so we're very happy to have you here. And we certainly thank you for your acknowledgement of all of our recipients over these years. It's been wonderful. Assisting us on stage this evening is Lacey Diaz of Adventist Health Hospital. She's going to be handing these awards to our presenters. As I announce each award, a representative of the sponsor will come to the podium and read a letter announcing the name of the recipient. The letters are a summary of the information we received in the nominations. And so what you will hear sometimes is our comments in the first person, but realize that this is a composite of, in many cases, of several nominations. It's been mentioned to me that perhaps our awards run too long, and maybe we need to change things up, and we are more than happy to have suggestions and to work on making it better next year. But I will tell you that the people sitting in these front rows are our nominees and members of their families or a close friend. And tonight is to honor you. And so if it takes a little while, it's okay because you're what's important. So please remember that. If you are the recipient who is named in the letter that is read, please come up center stage and join Congressman Thompson here. And once you have read your letter, Lacey will hand you the award. Keep in mind it's heavy, and a lapel pin. And then you will walk to center stage, join Congressman Thompson and your recipient for a photo op. And we appreciate the Record B for providing our photographer this evening, and look forward to the display in the newspaper honoring all of these wonderful people. Again, if I mispronounce names, I apologize in advance. So keep in mind, we've made some changes thanks to our selection committee. And at this time, I would like to introduce, to present the Special Star Award, Bill Kearney.
Thank you. Special Star Award. I haven't read this yet, although Melissa told me to read it ahead of time, but I didn't have my wife here to interpret it, so. Special Star, Liana Costello. Mrs. Costello serves as Patient Experience Coordinator at Adventist Health. Clear Lake Clinic, and through this job is responsible for sharing the perspective of the most important entity in healthcare, the patient's perspective. I remember when I had the pleasure of meeting for the first time as a new physician to a large family health center in Clear Lake, California. I felt an instant warmth in the employee break room as it was decorated by bright and cheery bouquets of flowers, my favorite flower. I found out that Liana brings flowers from her garden to liven up common areas and provide a homey feeling for those of us, like me, that are a long way from home. This is the very essence of Liana Costello. I hesitate to say she does little things because her attention to details, kind words, thoughtful gestures, and encouraging smiles are anything but small. And the impact they ultimately have, not just on me, but on so many others, is quite large. Through her encouragement, specifically of providers through sharing comments provided by the patients we seek to serve. Ultimately, it is hearing their voices and learning how our care impacts their lives that motivates us to do our very best and go above and beyond in our service. She does this by creatively handwriting the comments in the patient's own words and will attach these colorful, individualized note cards to a personal note. She writes, "That hope stays with you. Congratulations, blessings." I'm getting goosebumps when I read this. As physicians, you never expect to receive any accolades for the work that you do. It's all just part of the job, but I would be remiss if I did not admit that it is gratifying sometimes to hear that patients appreciate all the hard work that we as healthcare workers do during and after our clinic hours. Mrs. Costello leads a Tuesday afternoon prayer group at the clinic, which is open to all, which is always packed, and serves as an opportunity for weekly motivation and encouragement for patients and staff alike. After work, she can be found visiting patients in the hospital and praying with them and their families, comforting and accompanying them and giving them hope. Liana's compassionate heart and desire to make a difference in the lives of others has spanned her entire life, from ministry in her church to opening a women and baby shelter to becoming the executive director of Easter Seals so that she could influence change to a larger scale. She had taught classes to paraplegic individuals, developed after-school study halls, taught healthy cooking classes, and even opened her home to those destitute and in need of temporary lodging until they were able to get back on their feet. Through her many efforts and lifetime of service to her community, Mrs. Costello is an inspiring example of one person making an extraordinary impact on the lives of others and improving the quality of life for Lake County, one patient and one provider at a time.
Our next award is another example of an award that has been renamed for many, many years. It's the Humanitarian of the Year Award, which for several years has been known as the Marla Ruzicka Humanitarian of the Year. This award has been sponsored by Marla's parents for all of these years, Cliff and Nancy Ruzicka. The nominees this year are Louisa Acosta from Findlay, Ed and Mina Gardner from Middletown, and Tina Scott from Lakeport. Presenting the award this evening is Nancy Ruzicka.
The Marla Ruzicka Humanitarian Award is for an individual who, like Marla, actively promotes the welfare of the human race, especially residents of Lake County. This year's winner is Louisa Acosta. Louisa is a remarkable human being and a huge asset to our community. Louisa has dedicated decades of service to her community through various channels. Born the daughter of a migrant farm worker, she experienced firsthand some of the hardships working families in Lake County undergo on a day-to-day basis. She can relate to those who have ever felt discriminated against and is empathetic to those who are struggling and faced with adversity. Louisa learned the true meaning of hard work, resiliency, and determination due to her upbringing. Those values led her to pursue a lifelong career in public and community service. Louisa's commitment to helping others is exemplary. Louisa is a person that will do everything in her power to help others without asking for anything in return. She has helped people file for citizenship and registered many people to vote. Louisa has coordinated cultural events such as the Lake County Fair, Latino Fiesta, and the Kelseyville Ballet Folkloria Group. She has been participating in the Lake County Passion Play while recruiting new members to participate. After the final performance of the weekend, her family would prepare a grand dinner to celebrate everyone's hard work. Louisa is an active member of the board, which conducts year-round fundraising events that help cover the cost of the performances, seeing as the event is completely free to the community. Louisa is chair for the Migrant Education Parent Council and chair of the Early Head Start Center in Kelseyville. She is a council member for St. Peter's Church in Kelseyville and was also the chair for ELAC Kelseyville Primary School. One of Louisa's many passions include her love of music and providing information on hot topics that are relevant to the Latino community in Lake County. For many years, she was the chair and manager of the first bilingual public radio station in the USA, KBBF 89.1 FM. In 2019, Louisa began hosting her own 2-hour show on Lake County's local station, KPFZ 88.1 FM. This is where she established a platform for the community to voice their concerns on global and local politics, culture, and news. In 2018, she mobilized and organized a Spanish forum that provided information to members of the community regarding the Mendocino Complex fire. Louisa reached out to the Mexican Consulate, Lake County Board of Supervisors, CAL FIRE, Lakeport City officials, and the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services. Louisa realized many people that were trying to receive updates on the fire were unable to do so because of the language barrier. She found this to be unjust and great disadvantage to many community members who were afraid to speak up and ask questions. During the summer of 2017, a family friend of Louisa informed her of a family going through a really difficult time. The Arias family had just lost their father to cancer 3 months after being diagnosed. On top of the terrible loss, the father was the primary breadwinner. He was a farm worker, and his wife was left alone to care for their 4 children. The couple have a set of 6-year-old twins. One is disabled with severe and frequent seizures, while the other suffers from autism, and both require 24-hour care. As soon as Louisa found this out, she was quick to coordinate fundraisers for the family's immediate financial burdens. She also started a college fund for their 12-year-old son because it is his dream to one day become an engineer. Additionally, Louisa helped make referrals for the families at the local and state levels. The amount of dedication and commitment Louisa has towards her love for Lake County and its residents goes beyond the words that have been presented to you today. Louisa has been a pivotal member of the community for decades and is known to the community as a leader, resource, activist, and a friend. Louisa is dependable and encouraging. She is the epitome of what it means to promote and advocate for human welfare. Louisa embodies the best Lake County has to offer and is well deserving of this nomination.
Thank you. Our next category is Senior of the Year, sponsored by Adventist Health Clear Lake. Our nominee this year is Claudine Pedroncelli from Upper Lake, and the award is being presented by Lacey Diaz, Executive Assistant to the President of Adventist Health, and unfortunately Claudine was not able to be with us, so accepting her award on her behalf is Olga Steele.
Senior of the Year, a senior who actively participates in the activities and promotes positive changes in issues that face the seniors of Lake County. Claudine Pedroncelli. Claudine is a quiet powerhouse. She's an outstanding volunteer. Claudine is the guiding light of the Upper Lake Senior Center. The center brings people together through activities of common interest that helps them bond. She makes relationships with seniors who are isolated by calling them, visiting them, and by inviting them to the center events. Her caring, consistent dedication, and her innovation of activities have created a vibrant community hub. Her concern for seniors has led her to serve on the board of the Silver Foundation, sponsor of the annual Lake County Silver Senior Summit. She's currently working on senior support project that helps seniors get their pet care services through the Silver Foundation's Save a Pet. She serves on the board of the Upper Lake Western Town Council, the local forum that tackles issues of community concerns. As a veteran Upper Lake High School board member, she now serves on the Upper Lake Unified School Board. Her advocacy for students helps generate student activities like the Upper Lake High School Native American Club. She funds a college scholarship for students who graduate from Upper Lake Continuation School. Claudine Pedroncelli makes an outstanding contribution to the community of Upper Lake and the County of Lake. Her participation in diverse projects makes her a bridge that connects people and ideas to make a healthy community. She is dedicated to helping young people, seniors, vets, pets, and people in the community who need help. At the Senior Center, there is a monthly free food giveaway for all who need it. She sees beyond the status quo and is an articulate advocate for what she believes. Her spirit of volunteerism is inspiring. On top of that, she is a grandmother who cares for two granddaughters, 1 and 4 years old, 2 days a week.
Our next category is the Naomi Bruce Memorial Volunteer of the Year, sponsored by the Naomi Bruce family. Our nominees are Debbie St. Cyr Bloomquist from Cobb, Marty Heiss from Middletown, and Sarah Sanchez from Upper Lake. Presenting the award this evening will be Naomi's daughter, Janice Hornsby, and her granddaughter, Faith Hornsby.
Someone once told me to always have room in your heart to help people and animals, to do one good deed every day, to rescue animals in need, to make time for your community. That someone was my grandma, Naomi Bruce. Naomi dedicated her time to volunteer. We were all so lucky to have her not only make a difference in our community, but push others to have room in their hearts to volunteer as well. It's always the people that have no time to volunteer who volunteer the most. Even if you just change one life, you've changed the world forever. Imagine how many lives Naomi has changed and the impact she made in all of our worlds. It takes a certain kind of individual to do what Naomi did. The Volunteer of the Year award will be going out to someone so valuable to our community. Thank you.
And the person that gets the Naomi Bruce Memorial Volunteer is Sarah Sanchez. Sarah is a member of the Upper Lake Boosters Club and has been a part of almost everything in this community. Sarah has been an office or member for the Upper Lake Elementary and Middle School PTO for over 6 years. During that time, she has helped raise money for the installation of a new playground and electronic marquee at the elementary school. She also plans Super Sundays, Easter egg hunts, father-daughter dances, mother and son obstacle courses, taco feeds, family game nights, back-to-school nights at Upper Lake Elementary and Upper Lake Middle School. She also helps with holiday food, toy, and clothing drives. Sarah puts on the homecoming parade every year for Upper Lake and helps decorate the town with theme-painted windows. Sarah has been a member of the Bachelor Valley Grange and is a community council for over 4 years. She has raised money for repairs on halls and has helped with various fundraisers. She helped raise over $3,500 in a raffle to keep the Grange open. She is a member of the community council that organizes Wild West Days and the Christmas Light Parade in Upper Lake. After the ranch fire in Upper Lake, she raised money to buy over 300 backpacks and school supplies to give out to the kids in Lakeport, Lucerne, and Clear Lake Oaks, Upper Lake Elementary School. During the ranch fires, she helped run a fire recovery where she gathered supplies to help families that lost everything in this fire and that had to be evacuated. Sarah was on the committee that helped push through the Upper Lake bond and is on the committee that helps oversee this bond. She has helped raise money for kids who wish to attend camps and schools they were invited to join but just could not afford. Sarah's many things in her community: a mother, a daughter, volunteer, and a friend to all. Sarah deserves recognition for not only being an outstanding member of her community, but a huge contributor to the growth of this community.
I wasn't kidding when I said it was heavy. I think I'm going to weigh one of them this year so I can really tell you how heavy it is. Our next category is Student of the Year Female, which is sponsored by the Lake County Office of Education. Our nominees this year are Ashley Dahl from Lakeport and Molly Silva from Lower Lake. Presenting the award this year is Cynthia Lenners for representing the Lake County Office of Education. Cynthia.
This is the Bo Tipton Award for a high school student that makes notable contributions, has the highest caliber of citizenship, and positive growth of character. The Female Student of the Year is Ashley Dahl. I am pleased to read a letter of recommendation for Ashley Dahl. I have had the pleasure to get to know Ashley in a number of ways through my position of school secretary and cheer coach at Clear Lake High School, all of which she has excelled at. She currently has a 4.0 GPA, has been recognized as a Scholar Athlete, Student of the Month, and has volunteered in numerous school activities. Based on my experience with Ashley, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that she is exceptionally well prepared and doing well on a collegiate level. It is clear to me that she has a very bright future. As her supervisor, I had the opportunity to observe her participation and interaction with students, parents, and staff. Ashley has proven with hard work, follow-through, and teamwork she can accomplish tasks in a courteous and timely manner. As a cheer team captain, she has exhibited a quiet leadership, is dependable, and is one of the hardest working on the team. At CLHS, she is always one of the first volunteers for a fundraiser or student council activity. She has been active as an officer in student government, and this year she is the vice president of her class. She has volunteered for many nonprofits and community events like Relay for Life, the Lake County Fairgrounds, and Interact Rotary Club. There are way too many to list. Ashley is always helping students at Clear Lake High School, sharing with them dignity and respect. She can complete a task to do on her own or as part of a team. The job is finished on time with an excellent standard. One of Ashley's most impressive accomplishments is her senior project this year. Ashley was able to raise $4,000 and was able to provide Christmas dinner to 17 families. Her senior project was only the tip of the iceberg of her caring and giving efforts over the past 4 years. She has served the community through many service events. Ashley always gives back to those who are in need. Ashley is an excellent student with an excellent work ethic. Her teachers all agree having Ashley in class brings the level of course to a higher standard. Ashley is an excellent example of a Clear Lake High School student. She plans to attend Mendocino College for 2 years and then transfer to Humboldt State to earn a degree in kinesiology to pursue a career as a physical therapist. There, she will represent our community well as a star of Lake County.
Our next award is also sponsored by the Lake County Office of Education. It is for our Male Student of the Year, and our nominee is Van Wilkins from Clear Lake Oaks. Presenting the award is Brock Falkenberg, Superintendent for Lake County Office of Education.
Good evening. The Bo Tipton Award is for a high school student that makes notable contributions, has the highest caliber of citizenship, and positive growth of character. Van Wilkins. Van, if you'll join us up front here. As a student, Van has maintained a 4.14 academic total GPA from 9th through 11th grade and has been an honor roll student ever since elementary school. Van is a very active participant in all class discussions and activities, including his AP classes. In addition, Van maintains perfect attendance. In light of the demanding academic workload, he also manages to participate in various sports. As an athlete, Van has participated in and played football, basketball, and baseball on a yearly basis. Last year, Van and a fellow student helped Lower Lake win the Live Oak Basketball Tournament Championship. This year, he assisted in sending the football team into the playoffs, where Van broke the Lower Lake High School record for passing yards in a game, passing yards in a season, and passing touchdowns in a season. Van displayed the utmost respect for authority figures, coaches, teachers, and adults in the community. Van is a caring individual, putting others before himself. He volunteered with Circle of Friends and has taken it upon himself to befriend students with special needs. He goes out of his way to ensure that special needs students feel a sense of belonging and are being treated with respect. Van has completed over 100 hours of volunteer work, including assisting fire victims at the Lower Lake High School shelter, assisting in the Konocti Basketball League youth basketball, and assisting with JV and Pee Wee football games. Van not only attended football training over the past summer, but he managed to work full-time with his father. He is also a great older brother who occasionally cares for his younger siblings and interacts positively with his family. Van has also exhibited a great level of maturity. He has stayed by his girlfriend's side throughout her first and second cancer diagnosis, including her difficult treatment regime. He is compassionate, understanding, supportive, and responsible. While he is quite modest about his career goals, I know he is very committed to continuing his education. Van plans on attending a 4-year university, earning his bachelor's degree in communication or journalism. Van would like to continue his athletic interests and build a career in sports broadcasting. I have been nothing but impressed by the academic commitment, social maturity, and community involvement Van has shown. Congratulations, Van.
Students are excellent. We have a great many of them in all of our high schools, and our future is secure. Our next category is Youth Advocate of the Year, Volunteer. This is sponsored by the Savings Bank of Lake and Mendocino. Our nominee is Katy Evans of Lower Lake, and presenting the award is Bailey Bramlett of Savings Bank of Lake and Mendocino.
Youth Advocate Volunteer for contributions to the youth of Lake County, whether it be in the line of teacher, coach, counselor, or a group dedicated to providing support and our direction, which will ensure the quality of life in Lake County for our youth. Katy Evans. Katy is a wife, mother, volunteer to multiple organizations, a sheep farmer, youth and agriculture leader, and mentors to kids and adults alike. I am not sure if it is possible to count the ways in which her leadership has impacted the county of Lake and will contribute to for a generation of those under her tutelage. Among her many titles and duties, Katy is the founder of current leader of Anderson Marsh 4-H. Under her leadership, our county's youth have learned careful stewardship of animals, current agricultural practices, leadership, and much more. Also through Anderson Marsh 4-H, Katy has led multiple exchange programs where local youth travel to host families across the U.S. and travel projects to our nation's New York, Philadelphia, Boston on the 4th of July, and our nation's capital for a presidential inauguration. Can you imagine the impact that had on kids from rural Lake County, California? These few things mentioned are just a few of the contributions Katy makes to making Lake County a better place. She raises her own sheep, raises her family, works alongside her husband in a very successful real estate business, volunteers for 4-H, volunteers on the Lower Lake Water Board, and countless behind-the-scenes projects. Katy is often called upon for her experience and know-how for information and advice. She is helpful, caring, resourceful, and happy to offer her service no matter the task. Katy is always cheerful and exceptional in everything she does. If you are looking for a candidate with outstanding character, leadership ability, and is of service to her community, look no further. Katy Evans has been a lot of help to my FFA program. We are a new program and still learning a lot about raising fair animals. Katy is also available to help and advise. She always invites my students to her meetings so that they can learn more about showmanship and feeds. Katy wouldn't hesitate to come out and look at an animal to give advice on feeding or anything else that is asked of her. She is the leader of her own 4-H club and is a major contributor to the running of the Junior Livestock Auction, along with at the Lake County Fair each year.
Thank you. I would like to acknowledge our sound team this evening, Nick Biondo, who I've known for many years, and many of you may remember Nick retired as a music teacher from Clear Lake High School a few years ago. He's wonderful. He's a part of the Funky Dozen. I know a lot of you know that. And then the music that is being played for each of our categories is Tony Barthel, who Tony has been around a long time and does a great job picking the right music for each category, and is also producing a very wonderful event in August, the Hot Boat and Car Show. So thank you both, gentlemen. At this time, I do want to say, if you sat down in a seat that had a certificate in it and it wasn't your certificate, please bring it to the lobby after stars. Each of our nominees receives a special certificate acknowledging their nominations, so we want to make sure that we get those in the right hands. Our next category is number 8, Youth Advocate of the Year Professional. This is sponsored by West Coast Fire and Water. Our nominees this year are Roger and Jeray Burton DeVore of Lakeport, Tracy Lahr of Clear Lake, and Jan Peterson of Kelseyville. Presenting the award for West Coast Fire and Water is Chuck Saberna.
Hello, everyone. Youth Advocate Professional. For contributions to youth of Lake County, whether it be in the line of teach, coach, counselor, or group dedication to providing support and or direction, which will ensure the quality of life in Lake County for our youth. Tracy Lahr. Tracy has been a teacher in Konocti Unified School District for over 30 years, currently teaching drama, directing the Lower Lake High School show choir, and supporting the ASB, which is the student governing body. During those 30 years, Tracy has taught, guided, and loved hundreds of kids, always with an open mind and open arms. To this day, hundreds of these kids still keep in touch with her through Facebook or other ways. I'm nominating Tracy for Youth Advocate because she has been instrumental in giving her students self-confidence, poise, commitment, dedication, community, dependence on each other. Thus, they are very likely to become confident, productive members of society in Lake County. A good example, many years ago, early in her teaching career, Tracy had a very shy student, like me. He didn't seem to even want to audition, but with encouragement for his teacher, he did audition for the ensemble. By the time Paul was a senior, he was the lead actor and went on to study at Yale University. Tracy is in charge of the ASB, which is Associated Student Body, which is the leadership and governing organization of the student body. They are responsible for the entire week of homecoming, spirit week, and rallies, festivities and homecoming game, and the dance. Tracy directs teachers and auditions the signers of the show choir. They perform at many Lake County functions. Since 2001, approximately every 2 years, Tracy takes drama club students and chaperones to New York City. The trip is for 3.5 days. The group does drama workshops, sightseeing, and sees 3 Broadway musicals. Many kids would not have this opportunity of a lifetime experience if it wasn't for Tracy's dedication. The kids fundraise all year long for this trip and other trips. In February each year, several students attend the Liana Festival. It is held in Sacramento area and is attended by approximately 50 to 60 schools. Some of these are very big schools. The students compete in duets, monologues, one-play acts, and vocals. Tracy's kids always medal. Through the years, Tracy has been class sponsor, cheerleader coach, and driver for sport teams in fans of Lower Lake sports, and dance chaperone, among other things, at Lower Lake High School. Tracy was a music theater major in college. In her younger years, she was active in Lake County Community Theater. She has used her experience to bring the theater to Lower Lake High School and Lake County. Every December, she directs a Christmas musical. The past year, it was Frozen. Every spring for 16 years, Tracy directs a musical. All have had rave reviews by their audience. Tracy expects the best from her students, and they give her their best. The cast members of her productions and may not be star athletes or most popular kids in school, but don't tell them that. That's when the lights go down and the curtain goes up. They just keep performing. They are the stars of Lake County. Congratulations, Tracy.
Our next category is Organization of the Year Nonprofit. Nonprofit organizations have paid staff. This is sponsored by North Coast Opportunities. Our nominees this year are the Clear Lake Gleaners of Findlay and Lakeview Health Center in Lakeport. Presenting the award for North Coast Opportunities is Robin Barra.
Good evening. The nonprofit organization focuses on improving conditions or having a positive impact on issues that affect the residents of Lake County. This year's winner is the Clear Lake Gleaners. The Early Lake Lions are nominating the Clear Lake Gleaners. The Clear Lake Gleaners are the food bank of Lake County. Their volunteers are true to their mission to be good stewards in the collection of surplus and donated food for effective distribution, free of charge, to people in need in our community of Lake County, California. This directly relates to the elderly, homeless, and low-income families within our community. They have over 100 volunteers who distribute commodities to 12 sites each month. These sites are in every community, serving approximately 3,500 citizens with over 1.5 million pounds of food. In addition, their office is open 3 days each week from 8 a.m. to noon. Those in need can even secure food in an emergency between normal distribution dates. The Clear Lake Gleaners have a paid part-time staff of 4 who only receive a total of $1,500 per month. Funds are received from the State Department of Social Services for some expenses, while donations of food and money are received from various locations. Their main food source is the USDA, supplemented by food purchased through Redwood Empire Food Bank and local grocers. Congratulations.
Thank you. Category number 10, Organization of the Year Volunteer, all volunteer staff. This is sponsored by Community First Credit Union, and our nominees this year are Friends of Bog Mountain from Cobb, the Clear Lake Moose Lodge from Clear Lake Oaks, and Highland Senior Center from Clear Lake. Presenting the award this evening is Community First Credit Union Chairman of the Board, John Burke.
The winner of this award is the Clear Lake Oaks Moose Lodge, number 2284. That's great. Clear Lake Oaks Moose Lodge number 2284 is completely all volunteer run and operated. They offer a free dinner to all veterans on the first Monday of each month. The Moose host a place for Redwood Valley Food Bank Produce Pantry the first Wednesday of each month. They have hosted a disaster recovery training class by FEMA, hosted Lake County Library reading hours. They donate turkeys, hams, and food to Hilltop Recovery Ranch during the holidays. They donate extra food items to the soup kitchen in Lucerne. They do a section of Adopt a Highway with their Moose Riders Committee and Women of the Moose. They supported the Walk for Domestic Violence in Kelseyville with 22 attending the walk. They held an annual Halloween trunk or treat event so community children have a safe place to trick or treat. They hold a benefit annually for Lake County first responders, donating and raising $1,800 for first responders in 2019. The Moose hold an annual Christmas party where every child gets a present from Santa Claus, an annual Easter egg hunt for community children, giving out over 16,000 plastic eggs filled with candy or prizes for 2019. They are hoping to reach that goal again this year. They do many donation drives throughout the year, gathering school supplies, food, canned and boxes, socks for the homeless, pet food, blanket drives, duffel and hygiene items for foster kids. They collected and delivered donations to victims of the Paradise and Kincaid fires. They cook homemade Thanksgiving dinners on Thanksgiving Day for Clear Lake Oaks Meals on Wheels program and Lake County first responders. 151 meals were made and delivered this past Thanksgiving. The homeless were included. The Moose also helped provide meals to the homeless at the Clear Lake Oaks Peer Support Center on the third Monday of each month. Congratulations, that's an incredible list.
Our next award is the Agriculture Award, and this year it is sponsored by Paradise Skate Roller Rink and Arcade. And our nominees are Angelina Gulen. This is a posthumous nomination. Angelina was from Cobb, and Brenna Sullivan from Lakeport. Presenting the award this evening for Paradise Skate is Jennifer Strong.
All right, well, it looks like we're halfway through. You guys doing okay out there? Yeah, all right. So it is my pleasure to present the Agriculture Award for contributions to the development and sustainability of Lake County agriculture by an individual or group. And this year's award winner is Brenna Sullivan. Brenna grew up in Kelseyville and graduated from UC Santa Cruz with a BS in Geology and Earth Sciences. She worked with state parks for 10 years before moving back to the area she loved most, Lake County. Brenna has a passion for agriculture and the rural lifestyle and is dedicated to preserving Lake County agriculture's heritage. She has been the executive director of the Lake County Farm Bureau since July of 2015. She is definitely a leader with a heart. Brenna is a creative problem solver and an effective communicator, well-spoken, knowledgeable, and organized. She quickly makes herself knowledgeable about each issue that affects Lake County agriculture, such as the listing of the Clear Lake hitch, cannabis and hemp cultivation, and assorted water issues. She is a champion for agriculture in every sense of the word. She works tirelessly to bridge the gap between farmers and the general public through information and education. Educating about the complicated challenges facing the ag community today, she has become well known and respected on many state, regional, and local commissions, committees, and boards. She attends endless meetings and forums where she listens carefully to all sides of the issue and offers well-informed input to lawmakers, regulators, and citizens of all descriptions explain the needs of the Lake County ag community. This has earned her the respect of skeptics as they recognize her honesty and appreciate the respect that she shows for differing viewpoints. Brenna is a director of the Lake County CWA, California Women for Agriculture, award-winning Ag Venture Program, which is an annual A to Z course on the challenges and rewards of farming in Lake County. The program brings community members face-to-face with local farmers, pear packers, and vintners in the midst of their harvest season. The tours are enhanced by presentations on experts on land and water use, chemical regulations and food safety standards, financial requirements, and national and international marketing. To lead a program like this requires a working knowledge of every aspect of the crops involved and also well-tuned organizational talent to bring it all together in a palatable, informative, and fun format. An important part of her work is managing the Irrigated Lands Regulatory Program that helps farmers to meet state requirements for surface water testing. She represents Lake County in meetings with the Sacramento Valley Watershed and the Regional Water Board. She successfully advocates for a reduced monitoring agreement for the county, which reduced the costs while maintaining the effectiveness of our surface water quality monitoring program. Lake County definitely has a staunch protector and promoter of the agricultural industry. Congratulations to a well-deserved Brenna Sullivan.
At this time, I want to remind all the nominees and the recipients to come to the stage at the end of the awards so we can get that photograph and the live stream on social media. Also, I want to thank Lakeport Disposal, who has provided for the comfort of our gentlemen in the audience this evening their best ever blue rooms on the outside of the theater. As we all are aware, Soper Reese is a fabulous facility. We have great entertainment all year long thanks to Soper Reese. They make this theater available to so many entities, and we all get great enjoyment coming here, but the restrooms are a bit of a challenge for the ladies, not the men. So the Stars cordoned off both restrooms for the ladies tonight, and hopefully that has been of some comfort. So we want to thank the gentlemen for making the trek outside, and I want to ask everyone in the audience to remember that Soper Reese is taking donations so they can expand the facilities here, which is going to start this summer. Mike Adams tells us that's going to start this summer, and we will no longer have to call upon the Blue Room Special. So just a little hint, it would be good. Don't forget. Okay, number 12, Small Business of the Year, sponsored again this year, as they have for many years, Foods Etc. in Clear Lake. And our nominees this year, Cactus Grill Clear Lake, Chernoff Excavating Lower Lake, DJ's Pizza and the Game Hub Lower Lake, Kim's Dance Factory Middletown, Susie Q's Donuts Lakeport, Kuntz Mercantile Middletown, and Holy Bowl in Lakeport. Presenting the award this evening is a Lake County Chamber member of our Board of Directors, Ariel Carmona.
Good evening. When I think of Small Business of the Year, I think that the selection committee probably had a tough time picking it because there were a lot of nominees that you just heard. The Small Business of the Year contributes to the growth of Lake County by offering contributions, new and or improved services, facilities or merchandise, availability, and they also participate in community events and projects. The Small Business of the Year is DJ's Pizza and Game Hub from Lower Lake. Kyle and Sherilyn Fair have been residents and owners of DJ's Pizza in Lower Lake since February of 2008, and they have been the operators of Game Hub in Lower Lake since 2011. In the past 11 years, they have been involved with the support of the Lower Lake community in multiple ways, and some of those ways are helping individuals in need, raffle prizes and donations, certificates for pre-pizza, support for all KUSD activities at every school level, family game night at the Game Hub every Wednesday, weekly all-you-can-eat fundraisers, including but not limited to the Clear Lake Senior Center, respite care, any and all school groups, athletics, academics, social clubs, cheer, scholarships, service clubs, and the list goes on. Kyle and Charlene not only support the Lower Lake community by supporting Kelseyville senior activities in Clear Lake, but they also support the Clear Lake Oaks area.
Tony, need I remind you not to play good dance music? I can't dance up here, okay? Ugh. Okay, best idea of the year. This is sponsored again this year by West America Bank, and our nominees are Bloom of Lakeport and Jim Steele, Clear Lake Oaks. Presenting the award this year is a former director of the Chamber, Robert Boccabella, who is also a certified tourism ambassador. So when you see these gold stars out there, we need more CTAs. That's what it's all about.
Best idea of the year is a new and creative idea that touched our community around the lake, recreational, commercial, arts, etc. The Best Idea Award recipient is Jim Steele, the Lake County Silver Foundation. The Lake County Silver Foundation was founded by Jim Steele. The foundation's signature project is the annual Senior Summit, a day-long conference-style event to honor Lake County seniors. The annual Senior Summit always has a theme of health and wellness. Service providers range from hospitals to legal services, nutritionists a big part of the day. It is a way to reach and support seniors in a variety of ways, all in one location. The number of booths varies on the venue, but usually there are 20-plus service providers sign up for the summit. Seniors are known as the giving back generation. You see them in 400-plus nonprofits around the lake supporting the less fortunate. 10 inspirational senior awards are given by the foundation, and Congressman Mike Thompson issues a certificate of appreciation to each recipient. There is no other entity that celebrates the give back generation in this way. It's an important and popular part of this event. There are demonstration and entertainment workshops, chair yoga, jazzercise, music and singing, and more are featured activities. A lovely lunch and dessert are provided at no charge to seniors. In fact, the event is free to seniors 62 and over. A short presentation adds to the information-packed event. The speakers vary, but one specific issue facing senior citizens is showcased. Afternoon workshops are held, usually about 3. In 2020, the workshops will include watercolor painting with Diane Lieb, writing legends and memoirs with Loretta McCarthy, and the geology of the lake with founder, biologist, and forester Jim Steele. Through sponsorships, they produce the no-charge event. The Lake County Silver Foundation is still in its infancy. In addition to the annual Senior Summit, it has also distributed gift cards during emergencies. Thank you to the generosity of donors. Featured a celebration for Lake County Elder Day services, supports homebound, isolated, and financially challenged seniors through its Helping Seniors Save a Pet project, which helps with vet bills, spay neutering, pet vaccinations, food, and more. In partnership with Sutter Lakeside Emergency, it delivers holiday gift bags to our most needy seniors, and is currently working on grants to support senior centers and needs associated with public safety power shutdowns. The foundation was formed to fill gaps in what government can and cannot provide for the fastest growing demographic in the state and Lake County. Jim Steele, who at 76 years young, is working hard to call attention to the needs of Lake County seniors. Congratulations.
My personal thanks to Jim, because I'm fast approaching that time when I'll be part of that senior group, you know. So, thank you, Jim. Number 14, Amateur Arts. This is the Joshua Blair Memorial Arts Award. This is sponsored by the Lake County Theater Company, and our nominee this year is Laura McAndrews Samuel of Lakeport. And presenting the award is Barbara Clark, Executive Director of the Lake County Arts Council.
Hello, the Arts Award of the Year Amateur. I am proud to announce the Joshua Blair Memorial Arts Award to Laura McAndrews Samuel. Laura has been active in the arts here in Lake County in many ways, mostly visible on stage. She's performed a leading role for Lake County Theater Company fall musical productions for the last 2 years. These productions are a work of many people who dedicate countless hours bringing these fabulous shows to our community. Laura's talent in singing, dancing, and acting has brought the caliber of the productions to a new level. For the first time in LCTC's history, the show has sold out performances for the last 2 musicals, Oklahoma and Chicago. Community members from all areas of Lake County and beyond have been drawn to attend these shows. She's also performed in many other LCTC productions throughout the last decade. While audiences see Laura on stage during these performances and for a few weekends, her performance starts weeks before auditions are held. When musical shows are announced, she begins researching and studying previous versions of the shows by watching countless YouTube videos of both professional and community theater productions. Once the show is cast, the grueling rehearsal schedule begins. 3 or 4 nights a week of learning lines, songs, and dance steps for almost 3 months. In the final days before the opening night, Hell Week requires rehearsals every day. Her dedication to the show and her fellow cast members is clearly reflected in the standing ovations of theatergoers. Laura has also been a member of My Divas for several years. The group of ladies a cappella singers perform throughout Lake County for both community and private events. While community members see them in seasons, the group has weekly rehearsals throughout the year so they can maintain a wide range of songs, singing in French, Italian, and Latin. And I'm going to say from personal experience, there's way more languages than that. And Elfish. And when Laura is not performing, she uses her administrative skills on the side of the business to support the arts. She's a board member for the Lake County Arts Council and is a chair of LCTC's fundraising events, the Midwinter Dance Festival, each February. Laura is dedicated to Lake County community. Her professional work as an executive human resource consultant, including volunteering, is many ways that she promotes economic growth in Lake County tourism. She holds volunteer committee leadership positions for Lake County Chamber of Commerce, certified tourism ambassador, and the Rotary Club of Lakeport. Her work supports the arts, both on stage and off, and makes Lake County a better place to visit, and more importantly, a better place to live.
How many in here have seen lip sync? I can't see your hands, so you have to clap. Okay, I am pleased to announce that LCTC, when the Chamber stopped producing lip sync a few years ago, picked up the baton and they've done a great job, and it is coming back this year. So we're just waiting for the sign-up date, which I've been told is very, very soon. And I encourage all of you, when it comes to Soper Reese, buy your tickets. It's a blast. So now we have Professional Arts Award of the Year. This is sponsored by Sutter Lakeside Hospital. And our nominee this year is Marcy Ann Long of Kelseyville. And presenting the award for Sutter Lake Hospital is Director of Quality and Risk, Peggy Clark.
Sutter Lakeside Hospital is pleased to present the Arts Award of the Year Professional. This goes to a person or organization who promotes, participates, or supports the arts, music, theater, or fine arts. And the award recipient is Marcy Ann Long. Marcy is an artist worthy of recognition. Her art, photography, and graphic design reflect both her talent and her love of Lake County. She is a member of the Lake County Arts Council and is an advocate for economic growth through the arts. Her art captures our county's beautiful landscapes, wineries, parks, mountains, the lake, our trees and flowers, and our wildlife. Marcy is a volunteer at the Lake County Community Radio Incorporated, KPFZ 88.1 FM. She was a member of the board of directors and graciously stepped in as treasurer, fulfilling a need for a strong business model advocate. She adorned the studio with her beautiful art, which she generously left hanging on the walls when her term on the board ended. She continues to support this nonprofit as a member and a volunteer. Despite her busy schedule, Marcy offers support by developing advertising material, producing newsletters, and supporting fundraising events. As a member of the Arts Council, Marcy is a strong advocate for the arts. She was instrumental in securing a grant for the council from the County Board of Supervisors. She supports the Arts Council's work, and she promotes tourism and the arts in Lake County, describing art as a clean industry. As a long-term Lake County resident, Marcy shares her art with local residents at the council, the wine studio in Upper Lake, and other locations throughout the county. She is a member of the San Francisco Artists Guild and schedules shows in the Bay Area. She is devoted to promoting Lake County as an artist destination. Let's give another round of applause to Marcy Ann Long.
About 3 years ago, a new award was created by our own Sheriff Brian Martin, who suggested that he sponsor the Public Safety Award. This year, the nominees are Todd Dunya of Kelseyville and Andrew White of Clear Lake. Presenting the award is our sponsor, our own Sheriff Brian Martin.
Thank you and good evening. The Public Safety Award goes to an individual peace officer, firefighter, or EMS first responder who distinguished him or herself by engaging in activity that had an enduring impact on our community, either through their official or personal capacity. And I'm pleased to announce that the 2020 Public Safety Award winner is Clear Lake Police Chief Andrew White. The first day of work for Andrew White was not spent in Clear Lake. He was patrolling the streets of Lakeport. The Mendocino complex fire was causing massive evacuations, and Chief White stepped in to aid the Lakeport Police Department. When he returned, he started the process of interviewing each and every member of his department. This included sworn officers, dispatchers, clerical staff, and officers involved in code enforcement and animal control. His interviews were not meant to lay out his expectations, but to listen to staff's thoughts on the department's strengths and weaknesses. He also wanted to know how their working conditions could be improved, a gesture that caused an immediate boost to morale. I remember his first day. I said, "Welcome to Lake County." Chief White is still early in his career, but maintains an impressive grasp of every level of law enforcement. In a year and a half, his leadership has impacted the accountability, image, resourcefulness, and efficiency of every area within his authority. Outside the police office, Chief White has been able to influence change and progress in the community and city. With his team, every process is broken down and analyzed for opportunities to be more efficient and effective. Chief White never uses excuses, whether he is finding a low-cost solution to Wi-Fi in Austin Park, installing a city server, fixing outdated ordinances, or using contractors so code enforcement can be out in the field rather than in office mailing envelopes. He pushes the team forward, performing better to make Clear Lake a cleaner and safer city. The result is a department once fractured and often with internal rivalries that is now all pulling in the same direction. For many years, the police department operated nearly independently from the rest of city government. The city now works together with the same goals. Chief White has been instrumental in accomplishing many upgrades. The department's workspace has been completely remodeled, most police cars have been replaced, technological and policing tools are constantly being upgraded, and everyone's opinion is valuable. Under Chief White's leadership, the police department has been developing low-cost solutions that are beneficial to the entire city without using additional resources. While the demands of the job are high, he still shares his passion for service with his family. His wife, Charlotte, who's with us here tonight, works in education, and despite having children of their own, they also serve as foster parents for multiple children and some with disabilities. Chief White's patience and heart for those around him is valued beyond measure, both within City Hall and our larger Lake community. Andrew White is already a star to us in Clear Lake and represents the best qualities to be a star of Lake County, and I can't wait to hear the music that Tony has ready for him. Congratulations, Chief White.
I had the pleasure of serving on the interview committee for Chief White, and I have a great amount of respect for you, but I have to tell you, when he walked in, I thought, how does an 18-year-old get to apply for a chief? Fantastic young man who's doing a great job, and I think a lot of you probably saw on the front page of the Record B today that the city of Clear Lake has the lowest property crime rate in 34 years. Congressman Thompson he initiated and he has sponsored for Stars of Lake County almost since its inception, the Hero of the Year award. However, this year we did not have any nominees, and Congressman Thompson agreed to have us move his sponsorship to the Environmental Award category. And our nominees this year are Kevin Hams from Clear Lake and the Redbud Audubon Society of Lower Lake, and of course presenting the award is Congressman Mike Thompson.
Melissa, thank you very much, and thanks to another outstanding Stars of Lake County. When I was flying in last night from Washington, I was thinking, how can they do another one? There has been so many outstanding people recognized. How many outstanding people can there possibly be? And we see tonight, it just doesn't stop. So congratulations to everyone who's nominated, and thank you for doing everything you do to make Lake County a wonderful place. The Environmental Award goes to the person or persons or group who have made a special contribution to preserve, protect, and enhance the natural and cultural resources of the residents of Lake County. And this year, the Stars Trophy will go to Debbie St. Cyr Bloomquist. Debbie began volunteering with the Friends of Boggs Mountain Demonstration State Forest in the spring of 2016. As a longtime mountain biker, she had a passion for riding and a desire to maintain the spectacular single-track trails destroyed by the Valley Fire in 2015. As a volunteer at the Friends of Bog Mountain, Debbie led the charge to rebuild the trails. She managed to increase funds from $300 a year to over $200,000. She has spent hundreds of hours volunteering and coordinating the project. Her goal was to restore the trails in time to host the NorCal Cycling League race in 2021. Debbie quickly transitioned from treasurer to president and worked tirelessly to keep Boggs Mountain State Demonstration Forest in the forefront of regional organizations like the Redwood Empire Mountain Bike Alliance. To raise money for the project, she helped cultivate generous donors like REI Outdoor Company, GoPro Camera, and the Calpine Corporation. The Cobb community thanks Debbie for the hundreds of hours of work she has volunteered both behind the scenes and on the trail to restore the beloved treasure of Boggs Mountain Demonstration State Forest. Debbie, congratulations.
Next, we have that special award that was created several years ago by the selection committee, known as the Spirit of Lake County Award, sponsored since its inception by John Tomkins, and John will be making the presentation this evening.
Thank you, Melissa. Spirit of Lake County, an individual organization or business whose contributions to the Lake County transcend many of the STARS awards, categories to extent and scope. The selection committee chooses to acknowledge those contributions with a special award. I have a long list here. This particular person has been here for over 30 years. He is a person who lives the motto of service above self. He was a lieutenant for the Lake County Sheriff's Office, serving the county in an exemplary fashion. During his tenure with the LCSO, he was tasked with overseeing the building of the jail on Hill Road in Lakeport. Carl coordinated with the Lake County Supervisor Karen Mackey and the entire Board of Supervisors and key county officials. He created a master plan, developed the budget, conduct bid reviews and modifications, and award the bid and perform construction oversight of the project. Anyway, it came in on time and under budget. On a side note, he insisted that 3 roads associated with the jail facility be named for the 3 Sheriff Department personnel killed in the line of duty: Sheriff George Kemp, Deputy Dave Hoyt, and Sergeant Richard Helbush. He moved into this current home in Clear Lake in 1969 after several years of enjoying it as a summer home and immediate renovated the structure into the lovely lakeside home he still lives in with his wife, Carol. Okay, I can't go any farther. This is Carl Webb. 18 years of serving as a volunteer Clear Lake Planning Commissioner, 12 years as a volunteer Master of Ceremonies of the city's Redbud Parade, past President, perennial Secretary of the Clear Lake Rotary Club, inspiration for and driving force behind having State Route 53 designated by the state of California as a Veterans Memorial Highway. He helped oversee the 2040 General Plan updates for Clear Lake, as well as the Lakeshore Drive Downtown Corridor Plan. He worked for the passage of the 1995 Measure P Police Funding Supplement and 216 Measure V for roads, repair tax measures, and 218 Measure L South County Fire Protection District funding. And I'm not familiar with any of those. Anybody know? Anyway, it was a lot of work, I'll tell you that. These measures have made a dramatic difference in the lives of thousands of Clear Lake citizens. Carl was also appointed to the city's Medical Marijuana Ad Hoc Committee, which advised the City Council on how to deal with the legalization of the stuff. Carl has an excellent ability to communicate, bring people together, and plan for the future. His high visibility, energy, ethics, and integrity continue to make this example of service above self. Carl has devoted most of his life to serving the Lake County community and is truly deserving of recognition for all that work he has done.
We now come to the Woman of the Year category, which has been sponsored for 22 years by Northlake Medical Pharmacy. Our nominees this year are Lacey Diaz of Lakeport, Terry Deryunek of Kelseyville, and Diane Fridley of Lakeport. Presenting the award is a very happily retired owner of Northlake Medical Pharmacy, Bill Kearney.
Well, if I was happily retired, I wouldn't be running for supervisor. Woman of the Year, outstanding character, leadership ability, and service to the community. Woman of the Year, Terry Deryunek. While working with Terry when she was president of the Lake County Women for Agriculture in 2019, I witnessed many outstanding character attributes, including warmth, caring, fairness, but firmness when required. She's not afraid to voice her opinions, but has the ability to bring others to consensus after leading rousing discussions, sense of purpose, team supporter, positivity, and a sense of humor. As a leader, Terry is remarkable. Her service and dedication reaches multiple areas of our county and community. Besides serving as a member and president of LCCWA, she was a student in its first Ag Venture class, had led its mini grant program, served on scholarship committee, scheduled annual state capitol legislative visits as a representative and an advocate for agriculture. Terry has been a longtime volunteer for the Kelseyville Pear Festival Pie and Turnover Making Day, among other tasks. She has been a member of the Lake County Farm Bureau Board of Directors since 2013. Became a certified tourism ambassador in 2015, a trained mediator with Lake County Meditations, and served on the Lake County Wine Alliance from 2014 to 2016. She's a master gardener, was executive director of the Lake County Wine Alliance, wrote grants for the Lake County Wine Grape Commission, and is project manager. She served on the Sutter Lakeside Hospital Community Advisory Committee and physician candidate interview panel, and is still a member. She's also a very active member of the Kelseyville Sunrise Rotary Club, member of the Lake County Model A Club, and the Lake County Corvette Club. A member of the Lake County Chamber of Commerce since 2010, authorized the American Viticulture Area petitions for Big Valley District and Kelseyville Bench, both approved. Also Upper Lake Valley, Long Valley, and amendment to the Red Hills boundary along Bottle Rock Road, each currently pending approval. Terry and her husband Buzz own Pat's Paw Vineyard, and she's also the owner of Pat's Paw Creative, a consulting business for grant and AVA petition writing and grant management services. To know Terry is to love, respect, and admire her. To accomplish what she does while overcoming hearing challenges is extraordinary. She is extraordinary. Terry has certainly added value to the quality of life in Lake County, a foremost candidate for Woman of the Year.
And now to the Man of the Year Award. This has been sponsored by Bruno's since its beginning, 22 years ago. And our nominees this year are Kevin Cox from Middletown and John Parkinson of Lakeport. Presenting the award this evening is Jill Jensen, a Lake County Chamber Board of Director.
Man of the Year, outstanding character, leadership ability, and service to the community. Man of the Year, Kevin Cox. Kevin, founder of Hope Crisis Response Network in Hope City, came to Lake County when he was needed most. During the Valley Fire of 2015, with a commitment to help rebuild our town. Several disasters later, Kevin is still here. He moved his family here, expanded his work to meet the needs of our disaster-prone county. He rebuilds homes for free to wildfire survivors. He gives hope to those who needs it. His economic impact on Lake County is significant. Those who would not be able to rebuild their homes now have a home thanks to him. Those folks who are shopping and spending their monies in the community and paying property taxes on their homes are because of Kevin. Kevin has been able to bring hundreds of volunteers to our county as well, who also bring revenue to our communities. Many come back to visit our beautiful county. Kevin has been able to bring several AmeriCorps volunteers groups between 18 and 24, teaching young people construction. The work that Kevin and his team do puts a spotlight on Lake County with governmental officials, often bringing them here for them to see the work and challenges. This brings much needed help to our county. Without the work that Kevin does, there would be so many left without a home. Kevin builds for low-income families and those who are low-income aged and uninsured. Kevin purchases local as well as much as possible, making sure to strengthen the local community. Congratulations.
As you can tell by the empty tables up here, we have reached our final award. But before we present that, I want to thank again all of you who wrote nominations, all of you who are nominees and star recipients. You are the reason that we have such a wonderful community. And I'd like to thank our volunteers, Congressman Thompson, who has been with us every single year. Thank you. All of our businesses who sponsor these categories, you also are the reason that we can continue to do this. And another reminder that as soon as we present the final award, we would like all nominees and recipients to come up here on the stage in front of the star so that we can have that group photo, and also so that Sam Houston can do a live stream of this final few minutes of Stars of Lake County number 22. At this time, we're going to award the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is sponsored by Strong Financial Network. And our nominees this year, Christy Christensen of Clear Lake Oaks, Liana Costello of Hidden Valley Lake, Marilyn Holdenreed of Kelseyville, Terry Knight of Lakeport, Willie Cepeda of Clear Lake, and Carl Webb of Clear Lake. And presenting this award, as she has for many years, Jennifer Strong.
So before I present this, I think that there's one person in this room who is an unsung hero of this county and this event that has been standing up here thanking everyone else all night, and I think that we need to give Melissa Fulton a huge shout out of thank you for everything that she does for our community. I don't know if you all realize how many hours this woman puts into the development of this community, but she definitely needs to be thanked. So thank you for making this happen, because this has been heartwarming. This has been absolutely amazing. Having been a longtime member here, it's just fun to sit back there and hear about all the wonderful things. If we could only add up all the volunteer hours every year that's sitting in this room right now, it'd be pretty amazing. All right, Lifetime Achievement, the last one of the night. So this is a person whose involvement in their community over a period of years has resulted in major improvements and enhancements in the community's quality of life. And you know, this is one of those awards that I kind of always visualize it as a lifetime achievement, but they've got at least 5 or 6 more lifetimes ahead of them, because they're not getting off that easy just because they've been nominated or received this award. So this year's recipient, Miss Marilyn Holdenreed. So without Marilyn Holdenreed, Kelseyville might never have crowned its first Pear Prince and Princess in 1993. That's when the Kelseyville Pear Festival began, inspired by Maryland's affinity for the fruit for which the county is so well known. This event has become a huge draw for the county, having grown from 1,500 guests to nearly 10,000 annually. Marilyn assembled a powerful team of individuals that worked tirelessly throughout the year to make that one day in town so very special. You never wanted to say no or maybe when she pressed you into service. It was always a yes, Marilyn. You all laugh. I think you've been on the receiving end of that. She retired after 24 years of leading the festival. Marilyn continues to be very involved in the community activities that have meant so much to her over the years. In 1976, she helped form the Lake County chapter of California Women for Agriculture, an all-volunteer group dedicated to agricultural education and advocacy. And beginning in 1999, she was the major inspiration behind the hugely successful Lake County Quilt Trail. Marilyn remains a cheerleader for the Quilt Trail, the Kelseyville Pear Festival, as well as the California Women for Agriculture, and she participates in numerous civic and tourism groups to promote Lake County. She is now heavily involved in the expanding activities of the Eli Stage Stop and the Country Museum. In 1983, she and husband Myron built on their successful pear orchard and vineyard business by purchasing a packing house in Kelseyville, now converted to a winemaking facility for their Wildhurst brand. They contributed to the revitalization of downtown Kelseyville by opening their Wildhurst tasting room in the historic Oddfellows Hall on Main Street. While maintaining their vineyards and orchards, she and Myron have now sold their 26-year-old Wildhurst winery and tasting room in Kelseyville. A list of Marilyn's projects and accomplishments does not do it justice to who Marilyn is and what she has done. Kelseyville is what it is because of Marilyn. She illustrates her vision of what Kelseyville could be when she opened a classy gift shop on Main Street some 30 plus years ago. At the time, a gift shop was unimaginable in this slightly derelict country town of old-timers stuck in their ways. No. With grace, determination, infinite patience, and the help of her many friends, Marilyn gradually persuaded others to share her vision of Kelseyville as that friendly country town. Every town should be so fortunate as to have a Marilyn Holden Reed. Congratulations.
Thank you, and congratulations to all of our star recipients and to all of our nominees. I want to remind you to, at this time, come up on the stage, please, and don't forget to take your certificates with you this evening, but please come forward so we can get that final group photo. Thank you to everyone who's made this evening possible. It's the highlight of our Lake County Chamber year.